The world is at once 15 years on from the global economic crisis, an event that shook a generation and one that led to a revolution of big tech, disruptive brands, radical consumer centricity, on-demand commerce, and more. We're also 15 years on from the launch of Me-conomy, then a revelatory concept that set in motion the idea that businesses could and should work for good. The latter is now a globally recognized pillar of being a 21st century brand and has created a set of robust principles that are relevant today. The fundamentals established in the last 15 years are still vital for brands. Being good for the planet and for society is perhaps more important than ever, and more expected than ever, as we saw from the Havas Meaningful Brands 2023 study. But as people's lives become more challenging and uncertain, we're also seeing a repersonalization of brand purpose, one in which people's day-to-day lives are back in focus, and one in which brands are expected to help make daily life just better, from making everyday luxuries affordable, to making tasks simpler and easier, to making well-being universally accessible. Even when it comes to helping the environment and society, the focus has turned personal. Meaningful brands elevate and empower their audiences to be activists versus acting as the hero themselves, and they let their audiences decide how to invest funds in important work. In other words, purpose just got personal. Havas has measured meaningful brand annually since 2009. Now, nearly 15 years into this landmark proprietary study, our meaningful brand study continues to be a vital sense check about people's aspirations, guardrails, and expectations of brands. The methodology examines a brand's impact and equity based on consumers' perceptions and expectations across three key pillars: its personal, functional, and collective benefits, listed across 40-plus dimensions and attributes. The most meaningful brand are the ones performing well on all three metrics. In recent years, we've seen people increasingly focused on brands expanding societal and environmental roles, and a desire to build community. In time, as we saw with 2021's Age of Cynicism report, we've seen the backlash to them doing so with too much aggrandizement and self-interest. We're now emerging into a more mature purpose economy where acts of good for society and planet that were previously radical are now expected. Meaningful brands at their best win people's loyalty. They occupy a bigger space in culture, and they also set themselves up for long-term growth. They combine purpose with customer centricity to not just grow, but grow well, giving back to the people and the planet. In many ways, the expectations of brands have never been higher, but we at Havas think that is a good thing. It's also an era where people are also separating what they expect from businesses and how they want brands to behave. They still expect businesses to play a larger societal role in supporting people and the planet. But especially as life gets more challenging and uncertain, they are now looking to brands to play a more personal role, supporting their functional and emotional needs that impact their own lives. People are acutely aware that they are living in the midst of global crises affecting nearly every aspect of their lives: environmental, economic, political, societal, and health crises. All are carrying a huge threat to our ability to survive and thrive. As a consequence, people are having to adapt and change, and with that, what they require from brands is changing too. Welcome to the Me-conomy. Come to the